Hey student! Friday Hangout! I am teacher Prix and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Well, hello people on Instagram. What's up? It's been a while, right? I haven't made a live lesson, in a month? A month and a half. So it is wonderful to have you guys here. It is wonderful to have you guys on YouTube. If you're watching the replay, amazing. I hope you find great insights and ideas here in this lesson. I am doing my live lesson in my second YouTube channel. Yes, for longer lessons, I am going to be using this channel, okay? And starting next week, people on Instagram, pay attention. This is very important. We're going to be starting the pre-immersion workshop, okay? Next week is like the preparation. The immersion is going to start on January 17th. Yes, on January 17th, we're going to have an online and free workshop. It is going to be really amazing. It's going to be 100% in English, an excellent immersion to help you advance your English, to help you understand what you need to do so that you can become a more advanced English speaker who can understand and talk to people in English. So if you want to participate, you have to register, okay? For people on YouTube, you can see the link here in the description, in the chat. For people on Instagram, you can see the registration link in my bio. You can tap on my name, and then you will see a link in my profile. That's how you register. So I am sure that you're going to find this event amazing. And we're going to work a lot. There will be quizzes, PDF files. I'm going to call you. Yes, well, you gotta participate, I'm just saying, okay? If you have any questions, send me a message. If you have any questions, you can send me a direct message, and I'll be more than happy to help you out, to help you understand what you need to do, okay? Now, my friends, today, what I invite you to do is, if you are here on YouTube and you're watching the lesson, make sure to tell me who you are. We have some hashtags, and people on Instagram too. We have 3 hashtags, so that I know who you are, okay? So you can tell me here in the chat. Are you a newbie? Hashtag newbie. Are you a regular? Hashtag regular. Are you a BSA? Hashtag BSA. What is the difference? If you are a newbie, hashtag newbie, you're here for the first time. You don't even know me. So hello, nice to meet you. If you are a regular, you know me. Sometimes you watch some lessons, you are familiar with me, okay? But if you are a BSA, you watch my lessons and you are also my student in my online program. Like Fernando. Fernando's a regular. That's awesome. That's great. And if you are a BSA, you are my student in my academy. So I love to know who you guys are. Alex is a BSA. That is great. Amazing, because that way I know who I am talking to. So that is how we get started here. Now, guys, let's dive into the content. Today I'm going to be talking to you about a very important subject, okay? Which is the secret to make people understand you, Do you think people can understand your English? Oh, first time, but it's newbie. The hashtag is newbie, okay? Do you think people can understand your English? Can people understand your English? Tell me here. Tell me in the chat. Can people understand your English? Hi, Moneda. Can people understand your English? Would you like to speak more clearly? I would like to know that. Can people understand your English? Would you like to speak more clearly in English? That is a very important question, because if you are interested, if you want people to understand you more easily, more clearly, there are a few things you need to do in order to make that happen, in order to make people understand your English more clearly, okay? So there are some strategies. And if you feel like, oh, but teacher, I think people can already understand my English. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. But how about getting that even better? How about mastering even more, leveling up so that you can speak more clearly in all kinds of conversations in English? Because when I say anywhere, anytime, I really mean it. Anywhere, anytime, with anyone. You don't need complicated language to be able to do that. You can actually use very simple language to be able to get people to understand you, okay? Now, one important point, and I have my cheat sheet here, okay? My sheet. Helping people understand you is not about knowing more words. Sometimes we believe that, oh, I need to know more vocabulary. I need to know more English words. I need to know more advanced words in English. And that's how people will understand me. No, not really. That's not how it happens, okay? And if you think about it, if you get nervous in conversations, if you get nervous when you have to talk to someone in English, people will not understand you. I mean, not that. You will not remember all those cool words you study. So what am I trying to say here is, okay, you study a lot of words and you know many awesome, amazing words, but when it's time to talk, you get very nervous. Does that happen to you? Let me know here in the chat, okay? If that happens to you, probably it's very likely that you will not remember the words you would like to remember. And why does that happen? It is happening because when we are in a state of stress, the brain cannot remember a lot of information. It forgets information very quickly. And because of that, it doesn't matter how many words you know. It doesn't matter how many cool expressions you know. It's not going to work out, okay? Another important thing that it's something that I talk to my BSA all the time. Hi, Giuliani, BSA, talking about BSA watching. That's awesome. If you want people to understand your English, even though you don't have all the words in the world, even though you don't know all the English words, if your vocabulary is not the best, it's okay. If you want people to understand you more, you've got to practice paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is a very important skill. Do you know what paraphrasing is? Tamiris, Anna, Patty, Susie, do you know what paraphrasing is? Tell me here. People on YouTube, paraphrasing. My BSA no, because I'm always talking to my students in the academy about paraphrasing. Paraphrasing, in my opinion, is one of the most important skills every English learner must master if they want to speak English, if they want to communicate anywhere, anytime. And if you want native speakers to understand you more easily, you gotta start doing paraphrasing. So Susie says she doesn't know paraphrasing. It's okay. Now, what is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is when you describe something that you only know in your language. You don't know in English. You don't know how to say in English. But you do an explanation. You create an explanation in English to describe what you don't know. And sometimes we think that we only do that with simple words. Oh, I don't know how to say this in English, so I paraphrase. Yes, this is one example. Okay, this is one example. But there are other complex situations and phrases and things that you can explain in English when you don't know. And you got to do that with paraphrasing. So think about a story, a special story that you have and you're not sure how to describe because maybe you don't have the perfect words. You got to start paraphrasing and finding simpler ways to describe the things you want to describe. And this is a skill. Why do I say this is a skill? When you start doing that, when you start paraphrasing, it is very difficult because you never practiced. I had a student many years ago and she was really advanced, okay? She was not a beginner, but she had a very bad problem. She translated a lot And because of that, she got very nervous in conversations. She worked for a multinational company, and she really wanted to eliminate translation. So I started, because we were working together for a few weeks. So I started implementing paraphrasing. And I will never forget the first word I asked her to describe, which was soldier. Her immediate reaction was to translate the word to me. And I was like, sweetie, what are you doing? I know soldier. What? So I told her, chill, take it easy. You gotta explain the word to me. But then she said, but that's too easy. We're like, so do it. Do it, because she couldn't. So I said, okay, let's give it a go, girl. And then she understood, oh, I never practiced this. She spent years studying, and always her immediate reaction was to get the translation. But she was having problems because she was having some situations at work where she didn't have time. She needed to find alternatives. She needed to have techniques to describe things she didn't know how. And that's when she started working on paraphrasing. And paraphrasing is not that simple when you start. But if you never establish the paraphrasing technique, you're never going to get better. You know, with my BSA, in every modules in the academy, I am teaching them a little bit of paraphrasing, because they learn vocabulary in English. They have explanations of the vocabulary. When we have the group conversation classes, they explain things to me. I don't give translation to them. You know, I ask them, explain what you need. That's how you get better. So this is one of the most important things you have to start working on if you want people to understand your English, okay? Even in basic levels, you can do that. Of course, that I am speaking 100% in English right now, so this video is not for a complete beginner. But if you are a false beginner, you should be working on this exercise already, okay? This is something that every student, every English learner should be working on, okay? Now, one common challenge that students have in a conversation when a native speaker or even a non-native speaker cannot understand them is to give in. Do you know the phrasal verb give in? To give in at the first sign of misunderstanding. So you're talking to someone, you're having a conversation, and the person, I'm sorry? At that first sign of misunderstanding, students panic. They're like, oh my God, my English is terrible. No, chill. This happens in all conversations, okay? But the problem is most students at this moment will give in. They will not want to speak anymore because they are feeling very anxious. So one recommendation that I definitely need to give you here is, if you want to build up the confidence to speak in English, to communicate in English, you cannot give in these moments. Like, try to find help and not try to explain yourself. And I know it's tough, because usually you're feeling under a lot of pressure, under stress, so you don't want to talk. You want to like, oh, I don't want to have this conversation. So don't let this moment determine the way your English is going to be for the rest of your journey, okay? So that is something that you need to be careful about, because this is going to happen in all conversations. I imagine you like my English, you understand my English. I have moments like that too, when I'm talking to someone and someone doesn't understand what I say. I take it as a natural part of a conversation. There will always be a moment when someone cannot understand what you say. In fact, I do that a lot in Portuguese when I'm talking to my sister. Sometimes I look at her and I'm like, say that again? I didn't understand. Or maybe she doesn't understand me. I say something and she is confused. It's conversation. We're human beings. You're never going to be speaking perfect, perfectly 100% of the time. You got to take it easy. So working on the mindset, this is what I invite you to do. Students tend to work a lot on speaking, language, learning more words, listening to lessons, like you're doing right now, you're watching a lesson, but they tend to ignore the emotional aspect of learning a language. And next week, we're going to start the Prix immersion. This event, well, that's the introduction, will be very important because you will be learning how to work on the emotions. We're going to be talking about the virtuous circle of fluency, and we will be getting ready for the English immersion workshop. The workshop doesn't start next week. 2 weeks from now, the workshop will be getting started. So we got to understand that language speaking and any other skill in life will be connected with emotions as well. The more nervous and anxious and negative you feel about something, the more difficult it'll be for you to talk about it, for you to have a conversation about it. Now, it's not only about feelings, okay? It's not like feel good and then your English will be great. No, let's be honest, right? We gotta work on the language as well. So another thing that I see students not dedicating so much time to is the accent reduction. Now, do you understand accent reduction? Tell me here if you understand, okay? Accent reduction. Accent reduction is important, but not the way you may think. I am from Brazil. I'm Brazilian, and I will always have an accent. I'm not American. I'm not British. I'm not Australian. So it's an illusion. It's naive to think that I will never have an accent. I will always have an accent. I will always have like something different about my English. It's okay. It's okay. The problem is you need to work on it. There are specific exercises that you need to spend time on. Reducing your accent, improving your pronunciation, speaking with more clarity. That is a very important thing. Okay, and in my academy, for example, I'm always telling my babies to practice shadowing. They have pronunciation of the vocabulary they learn. In the reading, when they are reading the texts inside the academy, they have the audio files to listen and repeat and practice pronunciation and intonation. They have lessons on pronunciation as well. On my YouTube channel, not this one, the other one, the official. You also get to see some important pronunciation lessons to help you boost your pronunciation. There are many lessons. People on Instagram, maybe you're not on my YouTube channel, but there are many lessons. I think I have more than 600 lessons, free lessons, including pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, reading skills, listening skills that you need to work on, okay? So, Miana, I don't know how to say your name, but you want to be understood by other people? Well, working on accent reduction is important. Working on paraphrasing, that's what I was talking about before, is important. But the accent reduction will involve different kinds of activities that will work specifically on how you pronounce the words, okay? Now, one thing that I noticed in my students in my BSA is how I call my babies, my students in my program, is that some students, this is not everybody's problem, okay? But some students tend to speak too fast. Like, what? Chill, take it easy. This is a problem. Oh, but teacher, speaking fast is good, it means I am amazing. No, it means you speak fast. In my native language, I don't speak fast. I speak at a normal pace. I don't speak fast. I don't speak fast in English, and that's not who I am. I speak, that's who I am. This is it. This is it. That's what I do, okay? But speaking too fast will make it difficult for people to understand you, native or non-native speakers. It doesn't matter, okay? So especially for us, non-native speakers, speaking too fast is complicated, is problematic because we don't always pronounce words correctly. We make pronunciation mistakes. Oh, well, we make them. What are we going to do? Lie? We have to be honest. We do. Okay? So in that case, if you We're not native speakers. We make mistakes. Okay, we make pronunciation mistakes. And to top it off, we speak too fast. It makes it difficult for the listener to understand. So that's what I invite you to think about. Okay, I'm speaking fast. I have pronunciation mistakes. Boom. I combine both. It's hard. So one thing that I tell my babies, speak more slowly. Pause. But teacher, I get too excited. Oh, slow your roll. Expression, okay? Slow down. Why? How do you practice slowing down? Maybe you are very agitated. I was talking to a friend and he is really agitated. He's a native speaker. He speaks very fast. But that's who he is. He's very agitated, but he doesn't make mistakes. He's a native speaker. Oh, well. But one way to practice speaking more slowly, reducing your speed, becoming more conscious of your pronunciation and intonation is to practice reading aloud, okay? Reading aloud with your voice. So maybe let's see, I don't have a book here. Think and Grow Rich. Excellent book, by the way. I read it twice. Think and Grow Rich. I have the audio file to read this book. So I will practice reading this book slowly. The fact you're reading this book is an indication that you earnestly seek knowledge. It is also an indication that you are a student of this subject. If you are only a student, there's a chance you may learn much. And why is this important? Why is this relevant, okay? When you practice reading, you have to slow down. Because there are words you don't know. That's the catch. I have to slow down even more because there are words I don't know or that I am not ready to read. And if I read too fast, I will make mistakes. That's the point. If I read too fast, I will make mistakes. So let's say, let me try read very fast. I will make many mistakes. Every night he took that thought to bed with him. So I start making mistakes. Why? Because that's not how you do it, okay? Even in my language, I will make mistakes because I don't read a lot in Portuguese. So reading will force you to speak more, to pronounce words more slowly, to become more aware of the enunciation of words. This is something students don't do. And then when they have conversations and they feel bad that people don't understand them, they have no idea why, but they never practice reading a little bit more slowly. So if I read more slowly, and practice the pronunciation, having a clear enunciation of words, he took it with him everywhere he went. He turned it over and over in his mind until it became a consuming obsession with him. $1 million is a lot of money. He recognized that fact, but he also recognized the truth that he owned, then I can go back and slow down again. And one thing that you can do is I love doing that, and I always tell my babies, my BSA, in our program on Facebook, we have a group, and they always post their audio files answering questions, and it's really nice because it's a wonderful opportunity for them to practice. But what I like doing is you can record yourself reading a page of a book, and then you listen. You will begin to identify some mistakes you make, silly mistakes that you can fix if you become aware of the mistake you're making. So let's say I want to read something here in the book. I can start recording myself, and then I can go, infinite intelligence. This source of knowledge may be contacted through the procedure described in chapter 6 with the aid of creative imagination. And then I can listen to myself. Okay, I can read for like a minute, 30 seconds, and then I listen to myself. And then I can check, am I speaking more clearly? Because depending on how you read, if you read too fast, if you don't pay attention to intonation, punctuation, you will not understand yourself. That may happen too. So this is one very good exercise that you can begin to do, like now, not now, stay here with me, watch the lesson. That you can begin to do in your practice. Dedicate some time. I read in English every day because it's awesome. I love reading. And I read aloud a few pages, a few parts of the book because it is so important to help me speak more clearly in English, okay? Oh, but teacher, how about pronunciation? Well, this is one aspect. One thing that I recommend is this book, for example. I don't have the audio file of this book. I just have the written book, okay? That's it. But for this practice, it would be very interesting if you had the audio file available. Because by using the audio file, you could read and listen for the purpose of pronunciation and intonation practice. You're not doing a listening exercise. If all you're doing is I'm reading and listening to the words, that's a different purpose. And it's okay. It's a different exercise. Understand that in your practice, just because you're listening doesn't mean you're practicing, you're listening. It all comes down to the process. And if you want to learn more about that, you have to register for the English Immersion Workshop because I'm going to talk a lot about process and results and the confusion students make between the activities they do and the results, the goals they want, okay? So this is one very good recommendation. Of course, that watching pronunciation lessons will be very beneficial. Watching pronunciation lessons, intonation lessons that will give you recommendations to help you work on pronunciation. So let's say you have problems pronouncing the TH sound. The. Well, watching some lessons to work on that particular sound will be very beneficial. Okay, so there are different kinds of activities that will help you be better understood by native speakers or by any listener, any person listening to you. Okay, guys, I believe that the secret to make people understand you is to speak with clarity. And being clear will involve speed, okay, speaking more slowly, speaking more clearly, but also your choice of words, the words you decide to choose, the words you decide to use when having a conversation in English, and sentence order, the organization of your ideas. It's interesting because this month I'm doing a personal challenge to me, Teacher Prix, in English and in Italian. I think I posted a video on Monday this week on my channel. I don't remember, but I posted this week or last week, I think. And one of the recommendations I gave you was to give yourself a challenge this month. And I am doing a challenge to myself, I'm doing a speaking challenge to practice my Italian and my English, a speaking challenge. And I prepared a question for the next 21 days. Each day I'm answering a question. I am recording. And it's interesting that one thing that I could pay attention, especially in Italian, in English it's easy. In Italian it's a little bit more difficult, is that sometimes it's not clear how to organize my ideas. And this is a problem that can confuse the listener. If you don't know what to say, not because of the language, but because of the organization, people will have a difficult time understanding your message. So one thing that I noticed, especially with Italian, is that I have to spend some time organizing my ideas because I have so many. And it's more difficult for me to be like, oh, what can I realistically answer? Because I don't have the same vocabulary as I have in English. So I need to be more realistic. That's when paraphrasing, explaining words I don't know, will come in handy. So this is the secret, okay? Organization. And this will involve not only the speed, but also the grammar, the vocabulary. It's not just pronunciation. If you have a poor grammar, I will know, okay? I will know for sure. Because it'll be difficult to understand. And this is part of the organization. If your ideas are not clear, maybe you can speak English, okay? You can speak, but your ideas are so disorganized. You're so disorganized with your ideas that I'm going to be like listening to you and you'll be like going around and around and around and around and I'm going to be confused. Okay? And this happens to many English speakers. They think the reason people don't understand them is just because of accent or they didn't use good words, when in reality, it's because their answer is a mess. It's disorganized. I don't know what you're talking about. You keep changing. You keep going back and forth. Expression back and forth. You go and you come back and you go and you come back and forth. Okay? That makes a conversation very difficult. Start listening to people in your language, If you speak Portuguese, in Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, Italian. And try to find someone who is very confusing. You will begin to pay attention. You will understand what I'm talking about. It's not the word. It's the confusion. Okay? So learning English, communicating in English, talking to anyone, anywhere, anytime is not only about having a clear pronunciation, but being an organized human being. Organizing your ideas. I think, what was the question that I was answering that was very difficult for me? Let me see. I'm going to open my file here of my challenge, my speaking challenge for my Italian and English. Where is it? I will have to search because I don't remember the question. I am in the fourth or fifth day. Okay, this question was difficult for me. What are the three words that best describe you? Jesus Christ. It was so difficult to organize this question for me in Italian, in English too, because there were so many words. I was like, well, but this is a good word. This is a good word. And then explaining the reason was difficult for me as well. So I was like, oh, okay. So before I can talk about this, I need to work on different skills to be able to explain why these three words describe me the best. So you see, speaking and being understood by other people is a combination of activities. It's not just pronunciation. Students tend to feel like, oh, it's just my pronunciation. Not really. Not really, okay? It's one element. One important element, which I told you what to do. I gave you a recommendation, but it's not the only thing to do. Maria says value. Awesome. Alex says value. Whenever I'm saying something that you agree, that you're like, yeah, this girl should say something, you can type the hashtag value, VALUE. That way, I know that I am teaching you something valuable. Something useful, something meaningful. And if you are enjoying the lesson, make sure to hit the like button, and if possible, share this lesson with your friends. Okay? Okay, all right. Now, another important thing, teacher, I have a problem. It's not so clear to me because I stutter when I have to speak English. What is wrong with my English? Nothing. With your English, nothing. But with your mind, with your heart, maybe your stomach, a lot, okay? Not all your English problems are language problems. Some of them are here. Not because you don't know how to speak, but because you don't know how to manage your anxiety. And if you want to learn about emotions and how to connect them with fluency, you have to participate in the immersion, okay? It's going to be a big event. Next week is the preparation. Stay with me. So we shouldn't think that, oh, but the words disappears because my English is bad. No. If the words are disappearing, we have to work on vocabulary. That's one always. You always need to study. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, I only feel good. No, you have to study. But it's also connected with emotions. You're not feeling confident. And emotions also need to be developed. You also need to work on your emotions. And this is something sometimes the students tend to ignore. So if you feel like the words disappear, it's emotion. It's not only English, okay? It's not only English. Because if it's, in my case, for example, and I noticed that a lot. Yesterday I was having a conversation with a friend and then I forgot how to say a vegetable in English. And I really had no idea how to say that vegetable. And I was like, ma'am, how am I going to explain? And then I said, hey, you know, it's very similar to potato, but it's not a potato. And that was it. I didn't panic. I didn't be like, oh man, I don't know that vegetable. And I'm a teacher. What is wrong with me? And I was like, dude, that vegetable is a nice vegetable that I don't know how to say, but it's very similar to a potato. And it's very common in Brazil, not so common in other areas, okay? Then he started giving me some names, and I was like, well, that's a one. That's similar, very similar. Guys, you're not a walking dictionary. So if you don't understand how to deal with a stressful moment in a conversation, this will keep happening. This will keep happening no matter how much you study. So working on the emotions is important because by feeling lighter, you will remember words more easily. Okay, that's a very important step. Oh, but teacher, my pronunciation is really bad. What am I gonna do? I feel confident. I'm awesome. Good for you, bro or sis. If you already feel awesome and you feel amazing, it's just your pronunciation is not great. It's good. You're in a good place. So you gotta follow the recommendation I gave you. Don't be lazy. Students want the result, but they don't focus on the process. I'm gonna talk about that during the immersion, huh? Giving spoilers. I told you, I gave you the book example. Students want the result, but they don't want to do the work. That's tough, okay? So if your pronunciation is not good, if you feel like this is your problem, then you have to start working on accent reduction. You will need to spend some time consistently, 10 to 20 minutes a day, just working on pronunciation, on getting comfortable pronouncing, enunciating the words. I have worked with the students who didn't even open their mouth. They didn't even try to make the movement. How do you expect to improve if you don't even try to make the movements? I'm not saying you're going to be speaking like a lunatic. Right now, teacher Prix. No, I'm not saying that. Not talking about exaggerations. But you will need to practice, okay? This is a muscle. The tongue is a muscle. You need to work on the muscle, okay? Strengthen the muscle. There are sounds that are difficult for your tongue to make. If you don't do the proper exercise to strengthen the muscle, you're not going to improve that sound. It's not going to work out, okay? So that's a very important step. So pronunciation can be improved with shadowing work. Something I tell my babies all the time, BSA, if you're watching this lesson and you want to improve your pronunciation even more, do shadowing. Go back to the modules. Take a look at the reading part. They have all the audio files. The listening part, check the transcripts to listen to all the audio materials from the lesson. That's a very important thing, okay? Otherwise, you're going to keep stuck in a rut. You're not going to be getting the results you would like to. So there are ways. So shadowing, very important. Working on learning the pronunciation of words individually. You learn a new word, your first task is to check the pronunciation. Then check examples, check the meaning. It's a process, okay? Very important process. So the shadowing, learning the pronunciation of the words, learning linking sounds, linking the words together. Very important if you're trying to improve your English speaking so that you can speak more clearly. But I'm going to go back to the basics. I'm going to go back to the beginning. Pay attention to the speed. Speaking too fast is not a sign of strength. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're fluent if you speak fast. Good for you if you speak fast and you can do it, but that's not what it means, okay? Now, guys, if you enjoyed this lesson, make sure to hit the like button. Remember, on Monday, next Monday, we're going to start the preparation, okay? We're getting ready for the immersion. That's why it's pre-immersion. But to have all the benefits, you gotta register. I'm preparing some really nice lessons, challenges, activities, listening activities, speaking activities that I am sure you guys are going to love. Other than that, share, like, and subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye bye.